The younger man, flushed with a novel excitement, thought that this whole dance of ambiguity was an exhilarating affair. Neither Leo nor Finn had ever been in love, had never felt that staggering collision with a person who could rearrange their world. Approaching 30, it felt like a crucial part of life had simply bypassed them, a developmental milestone missed. Now, finally, they were experiencing it. The two of them, feeling their lives inch toward a sort of completeness, leaned against the rough brick wall of the alley and laughed. They kept laughing until Finn's phone buzzed with a text from a friend asking if they had already left. Finn typed back that they were just downstairs. His friend understood immediately, reading between the lines of the casual message. A new couple stealing a moment. The reply came back instantly, a string of winking emojis and a message that he wouldn't interrupt and that they should have fun. Finn knew his friends were likely speculating wildly inside, but he let the thought go. He was content to be right here, in this pocket of the world with just Leo. When Leo finally caught his breath, he asked what the text was about, if his friends were summoning him back. Finn explained they just thought they'd bailed. Leo gently pushed off the wall and nudged Finn's arm, suggesting they should probably head back, that it wasn't right to ditch a party they'd all come out for together. Before they went upstairs, Leo stopped at the bar and ordered another round of craft beers and a few large platters of wings and loaded fries, settling the bill with a quick tap of his card. Finn felt a familiar pang of unease, telling him that he was supposed to be a guest, not the host footing the bill. Finn and his friends always split the check, everyone Venmo their share. They were all just regular working people after all. Leo just wanted to be generous, but he considered that his gesture might make some of them uncomfortable. So he had a quiet word with the bartender, asking him to say the kitchen had made a mistake and sent out some extra food on the house when he delivered it to their private room. Finn was torn between amusement and exasperation but didn't argue further. As they walked back toward the karaoke room, Finn remarked that Leo was spending too much money tonight. Leo dismissed it with a wave. Buying his new friends some bar food because he was in a spectacular mood hardly counted as an extravagance. If he could feel this buoyant every day, he would happily cater all their gatherings. Finn said he'd keep a running tab and find a way to treat him back sometime. This piqued Leo's interest immediately. He wondered aloud how, exactly, Finn planned to reward him. A glint appeared in Leo's eyes as his mind filled with a catalog of decidedly unprofessional scenarios. Finn suggested he could cook for him. Leo's fantasy bubble popped. He noted that cooking seemed to be Finn's singular solution for everything. Still, it was a fine offer. Leo knew the other things he was imagining were unlikely to happen anytime soon. He told Finn it was a deal, and that he would be choosing the menu himself. Finn agreed. Leo grumbled internally. He wasn't trying to make a business deal, he was trying to build a romance. When the two of them finally pushed open the door to the karaoke room, a wave of distorted sound nearly blasted Leo back into the hallway. Finn was a terrible singer, but the friend currently clutching the microphone and wailing his way through an 80s rock anthem was no better. At least he had the courage to perform. Leo followed Finn inside, and they found a quiet corner to settle into. Soon, friends drifted over with beers, chatting between sips, and then the conversation turned to pressuring Leo to sing. Leo wasn't the type to be coy. As the founder of a moderately successful startup, he was comfortable in all sorts of social situations, and he'd already broken the ice with most of Finn's friends over dinner. When someone put the microphone in his hand, he glanced at Finn and asked if he wanted to hear him sing. At Leo's question, a current of knowing glances and nudged elbows passed through the group. Everyone could sense the dynamic between the two, but they were discreet enough not to tease them openly. Finn, surprised and flattered that Leo would ask him, felt a warmth spread through his chest. He confessed that he absolutely did. How could his boss be so damn charming? Leo declared that he would sing a song just for him. He took a sip of his beer, handed the bottle to Finn, and walked over to the digital console to select his song. While Leo was busy, one of Finn's friends sidled up to him, bumping his own bottle against Finn's. He teased Finn about getting a private concert. Finn was practically glowing with pride but tried to play it cool, as if this were a common occurrence. He asked if his friend was jealous. The friend laughed and said he wouldn't dare be. He took a drink and added that Leo seemed like a good guy. The two of them clinked bottles again. Finn quipped back, asking if he meant that Finn, was a good guy or if Leo was. His friend confirmed it was definitely Leo he was talking about. They sat drinking together, trading light-hearted jabs, but Finn's gaze remained fixed on Leo across the room. He watched him finish selecting his song and turned back, their eyes meeting from a distance. Finn offered a small smile, and it felt as though the noisy room and the space between them melted away, leaving only their silent exchange. Since the queue was long, Leo's song was buried at the end of the list. He figured it would be a while and made his way back to Finn's side. Finn asked what he had picked. Leo, enjoying the suspense, took his beer bottle back from Finn and took another drink, telling him he would find out soon enough. Someone dimmed the lights in the room, leaving only the pulsing strip of colored LEDs along the ceiling, casting the space in an even more intimate glow. Leo and Finn sat in their corner, not talking much. One of them bobbed his head to the rhythm of someone else's song, while the other took slow, deliberate sips of his beer. They assumed they had a long wait, but someone had secretly moved Leo's song to the top of the queue. When the opening chords of Truly Madly Deeply began to play, the microphone was passed to Leo. Finn laughed, asking if this song was for him. Leo, suddenly flustered, found himself uncharacteristically shy, a reaction that only ever seemed to surface around Finn. Finn knew the song well, he loved it. It was a relic from his middle school days, a staple of school dances and radio dedications, a song used to convey coded messages of affection under the noses of teachers. He'd never had anyone dedicate it to him. He never thought, years later, someone would be singing it for him. As Leo began to sing, the room grew quiet. The boisterous laughter and chatter faded away as everyone tacitly ceded the space to the two men in the corner. Unlike Finn, Leo had a beautiful voice, a rich, smooth tone that caught Finn completely by surprise. Although Leo had chosen the song with a clear intention, a gentle hint of his feelings, he felt a fresh wave of self-consciousness as he actually began to perform. His plan had been to sing while occasionally looking over at Finn, especially during the more meaningful lyrics, letting the words do the work for him. But now, with Finn's gaze locked on him, his heart was hammering against his ribs and his palms grew slick with sweat. He abandoned his plan, fixing his eyes on the lyrics scrolling across the screen, too unnerved to meet Finn's intense stare. Finn, for his part, was completely captivated. He listened to Leo's voice, watched the way the colored lights played across his face, and felt a giddy effervescence bubble up inside him. This was for him. Just for him. It was impossible not to feel a surge of delight. He was entranced. The dim lighting, the endless stream of love songs, the steady supply of beer. It was an environment designed for losing oneself. By the time Leo finished the song, Finn had finished his entire beer. They say your dimples have no wine, but I'm drunk as a dog. Leo didn't have dimples, but Finn was already intoxicated. Everything about the man was intoxicating. His looks, his voice, even the way he smiled and passed the microphone to the next person. Leo finally let out a breath of relief, feeling like he'd just survived an ordeal of his own making. He had meant to charm Finn, but he had ended up a bundle of nerves himself. He turned and asked Finn what he thought. Finn, already cracking open another beer, just asked what he meant. Leo watched him chugging the new bottle, a flicker of concern crossing his mind. He wondered what was wrong, why he was drinking so fast. An absurd thought flashed through his mind. Was Finn trying to get drunk to work up the courage for some ill-advised advance? He mentally cautioned the younger man that true intoxication was counterproductive for such activities. Pleasant buzz was the ideal state. Leo reached out and grabbed the bottle, telling him to slow down, that he wouldn't be responsible for him if he got wasted. Finn's eyes fell to the hand gripping his bottle, to the long, pale fingers. He had an overwhelming urge to hold that hand. He was in deep. He told Leo he hadn't realized he could sing so well. Leo preened, stating that he was good at most things, a classic example of a well-rounded man. Not a hint of modesty. Finn chuckled and nodded in agreement, adding that of all the songs in the world, he was certain Leo sang that one the best. Leo, feeling a bit competitive, asked why. He was sure he sang all songs equally well. Finn replied that it was because he had sung that one for him. The unspoken sentiment hung in the air. The emotion behind it made it superior. His comment seemed to catch Leo off guard. Leo suddenly lifted the bottle in his hand and took a long drink, only realizing after he'd swallowed that it was Finn's. An indirect kiss. The thought made Leo's head feel like it was steaming. At that moment, Finn abruptly stood up, announcing he was going to the restroom. Leo watched him leave, hesitated for a moment, and then got up and followed him out. Leo trailed behind Finn as they walked down the hallway. Suddenly, Finn stopped and turned around, accusing Leo of following him. Leo scoffed, retorting that he wasn't that interesting to follow and that he was also heading to the restroom. He tried to brush past, but Finn grabbed his hand, stopping him. Finn said he needed to ask him something first. Leo's heart began to pound in time with the bass leaking from the room next door. He demanded to know what Finn wanted to ask, wondering why holding his hand was a necessary part of the inquiry. Finn asked why he had chosen to sing that particular song. Leo stared at him, the automatic response of "I just picked it" randomly dying on his lips. After a few seconds of silence, he countered, asking Finn what he thought. Why did he think he had chosen it? Finn felt that everything between them now was charged with unspoken meaning. Even a simple glance felt like a secret confession. He admitted he had his own theory but wasn't sure if he was right. Leo smiled, encouraging him to take a wild guess. A young man needed to be bold. How else was he supposed to land a date? Finn grinned back, agreeing to give it his best shot. Leo nodded. Just as it seemed the fragile barrier between them was about to be broken, one of Finn's friends appeared behind them, also on his way to the restroom. He saw them and launched into a cheerful, rambling conversation that completely derailed their moment. The topic was never revisited, not even as the group noisily spilled out of the bar later that night. The plan was to move on to a late-night board game cafe, a regular ritual for the group. Leo leaned in and whispered to Finn, asking what he was supposed to do since he didn't know how to play any of those games. Finn, still preoccupied with their unfinished conversation, looked at Leo and suggested they go somewhere else instead. Leo teased him, asking if this was a kidnapping attempt. Finn leaned against him, laughing, and confirmed that it was. He asked Leo if he dared to come with him. Leo felt a thrill of anticipation, a sense that something he had been secretly hoping for was about to happen. He said, "Let's go." Of course he would go. Even if Finn were actually kidnapping him, he could always call the police later. And if Finn's intentions were more romantic, well, that was a win. He was eager to leave right now. At his age, still single, he was more than ready for a change. Finn jogged ahead to let his friends know they had to leave early. Normally, his departure would have been met with protests, but tonight was different. The group was filled with a benevolent understanding, and they waved goodbye to the new couple as they hailed a cab. Leo felt a bit flustered by the focused attention and quickly slid into the back seat, using Finn as a shield from their friends' gazes. Once the door was closed, Leo asked where they were going. Finn didn't answer. Instead, he reached over and took Leo's hand, then gave the driver an address. The street name sounded familiar to Leo, but he was notoriously bad with directions. As a business owner with an assistant who drove him everywhere, he never had to be. Besides, his brain had no capacity to ponder familiar street names right now. Not when his hand was being held by Finn. This was unreal. He wanted to demand to know why Finn was suddenly holding his hand, to declare that the esteemed Leo wasn't just anyone's to touch. But the words wouldn't come. He was a cocktail of excitement and anxiety, his composure rattled by the delicious uncertainty of their relationship. The flustered man tried to take deep breaths to calm himself. It was just hand-holding, yet his entire body felt like it was overheating. He suddenly decided Finn wasn't a person but a portable heater, capable of slow roasting him to perfection. As Leo's thoughts spiraled, Finn was in a similar state. He wasn't a casually touchy person. He believed in maintaining a respectful distance. But with Leo, that supposed safety zone had never really existed. Looking back from this night, Finn tried to pinpoint the exact moment his feelings for Leo had shifted, but it was impossible. Their time together had been short but dense with small, significant moments that made his heart flutter in recollection. Leo's personality was so mercurial. Finn could never quite figure him out. But the more unpredictable Leo was, the more Finn found himself drawn in. Even his foolish moments were endearing, and his focus when he worked was incredibly attractive. The powerful CEO persona Leo projected to the world hid another, softer side. Thinking about it made Finn smile. He felt too shy to look at Leo, so he turned to watch the city lights streak by the window. Seeing Finn's apparent bashfulness, Leo suddenly felt emboldened. He turned to stare at Finn, but the moment Finn glanced back, Leo quickly looked away. The two grown men were acting like shy teenagers, their mature bodies housing the hearts of two hopelessly innocent middle schoolers. The taxi sped along the late-night highway. In the back seat, they felt the warmth of each other's palms, their hands growing slick with sweat but refusing to let go. When they arrived, the driver pulled over, and Leo finally understood why the street name was familiar. They were at the entrance to a large public park by the lake. He wondered if the cotton candy vendor would still be there at this hour. He followed Finn out of the cab, assuming another sweet treat was in their future. Finn laughed at the idea, saying of course not. Finn led him into the park. At this time of night, it was completely deserted. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and late-blooming flowers. They walked hand in hand down a narrow, winding path, strolling through an empty park in the middle of the night, holding hands. Leo had to admit it was quite romantic. He asked again if this was truly a kidnapping, wondering if Finn's accomplices were waiting in the wings. Finn played along, confirming his sinister plan was to swindle Leo out of all his money. Leo sighed dramatically, lamenting that his father had always warned him not to flaunt his wealth, lest he attract the wrong kind of attention. Finn declared that he was the wrong kind of attention. He stopped and turned to face Leo. The path was so narrow they had to stand in single file, their hands still linked between them. Towering trees formed a canopy overhead, and the sparse amber lamps cast long, dancing shadows. They were standing in a dark patch between two lights, almost completely hidden. It was late autumn, and a cool breeze sent a cascade of dry leaves swirling around them, one landing gently on Finn's shoulder. Finn asked if he was scared. His serious tone caught Leo off guard for a second, but he quickly recovered, raising an eyebrow. He scoffed at the idea that he would ever be afraid of Finn. Finn couldn't maintain his stern expression and broke into a laugh. He conceded that with Leo's surprising physical prowess, he'd likely be the one to get taken down in any altercation. He told Leo to watch his step and not to step in any bird droppings. The comment instantly reminded Leo of their first meeting, when he had ignominiously stepped in dog mess right in front of his office building. Stepped in it and then looked up to see Finn for the first time. Perhaps it really was a stroke of dog-do luck. Leo told him to stop talking about droppings, claiming he was allergic. Finn, walking ahead, stifled a laugh and agreed. They continued along the path until they emerged from the small grove of trees into a large open space surrounded by amusement rides. To Leo's astonishment, a few of them were still operating. He asked if this was a 24-hour park. Finn explained that only the Ferris wheel and the carousel stayed open late. He tugged Leo's hand, telling him to come with him. A long time ago, Finn had an idea. If he ever confessed his feelings to someone, he would do it on a Ferris wheel. This particular park, though unassuming, boasted the tallest Ferris wheel in the entire city. He wanted to be at the highest point in the city when he told someone he loved them. Of course, it would be ideal if they accepted. The thought of being rejected and then trapped together in a small cabin for another 15 minutes was mortifying. The idea had come to him during a low point in his life. He was jobless, broke, with nothing to his name but a stick of cotton candy. He'd been sitting on a swing watching the slow rotation of the wheel when the thought struck him, only to be immediately dismissed. What right did he have, with nothing to offer, to confess to anyone? When he met Leo, he still had nothing. When he inexplicably fell for him, he still had nothing. Even now, Finn felt he was empty-handed. His very job existed at Leo's whim. But something in his mindset had shifted. The discouraged young man had become a courageous suitor. As Finn led Leo to the ticket booth and onto the cabin, he had the amusing thought that he felt like he'd successfully landed a sugar daddy. Leo asked what he was smiling about. He'd never been on a Ferris wheel before and found it slightly intimidating. He entered the cabin nervously, sitting down close to Finn. He thought Finn was laughing at his apprehension. Finn simply said he was laughing at his own good fortune. Leo was puzzled but didn't press the issue, because at that moment, the Ferris wheel began to move. The second the door latched, he instinctively grabbed Finn's hand and turned to look out the window as they slowly lifted off the ground. Finn asked if he was afraid of heights. He hadn't heard anything about that. When he'd started the job, he'd studied a whole dossier on Leo and aced the written test. If he had known Leo had a fear of heights, he never would have brought him here. Leo denied it, explaining that it wasn't fear, just nerves. He gazed out at the nightscape. It was well past midnight, and most of the city was asleep. A few skyscrapers remained lit, but the long strings of streetlights and the illuminated bridges twinkled in the distance like earthbound constellations. He remarked that it was a very different feeling from being in an airplane. Finn agreed, watching him with a gentle smile before turning his own gaze forward. His heart began to race. He fell silent, mentally rehearsing the words he was about to say. Leo sensed the strange quiet and looked over at Finn, a paranoid thought flashing through his mind. Was this part of the kidnapping plot? Was Finn planning to throw him out and seize his assets? Only a CEO with an overactive imagination could conjure such a scenario at a time like this. The wait felt agonizingly long. Leo, restless, looked out at the view. His initial fear subsided, replaced by an appreciation for the unique perspective of seeing the city from such a height. He stood up, trying to spot his own office building in the distance. Suddenly, a recorded voice announced they had reached the highest point. At the same time, Finn grabbed his hand. Leo jumped, startled, and looked at Finn. He heard him say, "Leo, let's discuss something. Starting today, how about you leverage our synergy outside of the office?" That wasn't it. That wasn't what Finn had planned to say at all. Just moments before, he had spent 10 silent minutes crafting the most heartfelt, toe-curlingly romantic confession. Something about never forgetting the first time he saw him, something about falling for him being an inevitability. He admitted to himself he was basically reciting lyrics, but using the song Leo sang to him as inspiration for a confession felt sweet. Didn't it? But apparently, he just wasn't built for flowery language. The beautifully constructed confession he'd worked so hard on came out garbled. "Leo, let's discuss something," Finn had said. "Starting today, how about you leverage our synergy outside of the office?" Leverage our synergy. Outside of the office. Leo was completely bewildered. While office romances weren't unheard of, this was the first time an employee had propositioned him with such bizarre corporate jargon. This wasn't the romantic storyline he thought they were on. He stared at Finn in shock. He asked if that was really it. After this whole elaborate detour, all Finn wanted was to be leveraged? Clearly, Leo's usually expansive mind had narrowed its focus. He had completely missed the shy, clumsy, roundabout confession hidden within Finn's awkward phrasing. Finn, seeing the confusion, started to panic. This was getting awkward. He quickly tried to backtrack, saying that wasn't what he meant. The Ferris wheel was already beginning its descent, and they still hadn't sorted this out. Leo was now annoyed. So that was it? He had offered his genuine affection, and Finn was only after his body and his money? He demanded to know what Finn really meant. Leo sat down opposite him, crossing his arms and legs in a posture of pure, indignant CEO, looking like he was ready to toss Finn out of the cabin. The sight was so ridiculous it made Finn laugh. "I mean, I want to be with you," Finn said, abandoning all attempts at cleverness. There was no point in provoking Leo further. This was supposed to be a perfect night. When Leo suddenly heard the words "be with you" after gearing up for a fight, his brain short-circuited. He started to retort, then paused, his expression shifting to one of confusion. He asked who Finn wanted to be with. What did he mean? "I want to be with you," Finn repeated, his inexperience in confessing love making him feel clumsy. His carefully prepared speech was gone, and he was improvising badly. He wondered if he was being too blunt. Suddenly, Leo hiccuped. He was startled. Finn realized his abrupt confession had literally shocked his boss. But on reflection, it wasn't that sudden. Was it? They had been circling each other for so long. There was a point where ambiguity became frustrating. A real man had to be decisive. Leo's hiccups wouldn't stop, reminding him of the night he'd secretly kissed Finn's cheek. A combination of romantic excitement and nerves always seemed to trigger them. As he hiccuped, he looked at Finn, a stray thought wandering through his mind. If they ever ended up in bed together, would his constant hiccuping ruin the mood? Seeing Leo just staring at him without answering, Finn's confidence began to waver. Surely, after all this time, Leo wouldn't say it was all in his head, would he? His boss wasn't the type to play with a person's feelings, was he? Of course not. Leo was simply lost in the joyous shock of being confessed to by the person he liked. Finn nervously prompted him, asking for an answer. The suspense was killing him. Leo, finally regaining his composure, began to preen. He asked, with an exaggerated drawl, if Finn was saying he liked him. Finn nodded. Of course he liked him. Why else would he have brought him to meet his friends? Why else would he drag him to ride a Ferris wheel in the middle of the night instead of being asleep at home? He confirmed it. He liked him. Leo then asked if he wanted to date the CEO, or if he wanted to date Leo. Finn left. Did Leo even realize how far he was from the typical CEO persona he tried to project? He told him he just liked Leo, the person. He just wanted to be with Leo. Leo's hiccups started up again, stronger this time. He then asked what Finn would do if he said no. Would he open the door and throw him out? In that moment, Finn felt a pang of genuine despair. So his boss really was just a heartless player. He replied that it wouldn't come to that, as he was a law-abiding citizen. If Leo said no, he'd just have to try harder. And if that didn't work, he supposed they would cross that bridge when they came to it. Leo slapped Finn's arm playfully. He chided him for giving up so easily. Why not just ask a few more times? Finn laughed, realizing Leo hadn't heard enough. He leaned closer, moving to sit right beside Leo, and said he wanted to be with him. Leo feigned annoyance, looking at him out of the corner of his eye and asking why he was sitting so close. He then let out another hiccup. Because Finn said he wanted to be with him. Leo turned to face him. They looked at each other, and Finn asked if he wanted to be his boyfriend. Leo asked why he should. Because Finn answered simply, "I like you." That was all Leo wanted to hear. He finally smiled, a wide, genuine grin. He stopped being difficult and looked at Finn, his eyes sparkling. He said he liked him too, and in that case, he was officially granting him permission to be his boyfriend. Finn had expected more teasing, more games. He was surprised by the sudden, straightforward acceptance. He thought for a second that Leo was going to reject him. Leo scoffed at the idea. Why would he reject him? He wasn't an idiot. Finn reminded him of his earlier question about being thrown from the cabin, asking if he was just trying to scare him. Leo replied with mock seriousness that he really was considering it, that he was a very selective person and didn't just accept any confession that came his way. Finn then asked what had made him change his mind. As he spoke, he took Leo's hand, Not just holding it this time, but lacing their fingers together, palm to palm, a gesture that felt as intimate as two hearts beating together. Their hands were both hot, like two flames merging into one. Leo looked down at their joined hands, then said it was because Finn had said he liked him. It sounded a bit sentimental even to himself, but he had needed to hear Finn say those simple words, "I like you." Not "I like the CEO," not "I like my boss," but just that. All the titles were superficial. "I like you" was real. That, to Leo, was a real confession. A first crush, a first relationship, it wasn't just for teenagers.
Finn understood.
He squeezed Leo's hand tightly and repeated it, again and again. "I like you. I want to be with you." He sat to Leo's left, and with each repetition, Leo's left cheek grew warmer. Eventually, the hiccuping man got so embarrassed he had to tell Finn to stop. The Ferris wheel was nearing the ground. Their slightly comical, not at all romantic confession was ending with their fingers intertwined. Leo took a deep breath and patted his chest, complaining that his hiccups were annoying. Finn looked at him and suddenly said he had a way to stop hiccups, asking if Leo wanted to try. Leo turned to lecture the younger man, now that they were officially a couple. He should really drop the formal Leo and come up with a nickname, but before he could get a word out, Finn kissed him. Their lips met. Leo's eyes went wide, almost crossing. As the Ferris wheel glided to a gentle stop, Leo's hiccups vanished. When the cabin came to a complete halt, Finn pulled back slightly. Both of them were flushed, a mixture of excitement, nerves, and shyness making them feel like they could breathe fire. Finn pointed out that the hiccups were gone. Leo swallowed hard, his heart racing. He thought to himself, "If you wanted to kiss me, just say so. What's with all the excuses?" Their eyes met, and their expressions were far from innocent. Leo was still savoring the feeling of that brief, gentle press of lips. He suddenly felt bold. He told Finn it hadn't worked, that they needed to try again. Then he took the initiative, wrapping his arms around Finn's neck and pulling him close. They were grown men. There was no need to be shy. Leo thought, "I'm gonna kiss you tonight, and that's final." Surprised but delighted by Leo's forwardness, Finn smiled and closed his eyes, his hand coming up to cup Leo's warm cheek. So when the ride operator slid the door open, he was greeted by the sight of two men locked in a passionate kiss. So absorbed in each other, they didn't even notice him. The operator cleared his throat. He was ignored. Fine, whatever. He rolled his eyes, walked a few feet away, and lit a cigarette, staring up at the moon, his only companion in solitude. Dating was so annoying. He wished for the world to end. After finishing his cigarette, the operator turned back to find the two men were only just now emerging from the cabin. If he weren't such a handsome and kind-hearted person, he would have charged them double. Finn, holding Leo's hand, felt a bit dazed. They saw the operator's dark expression and bowed apologetically. Finn said he was sorry for the trouble. Leo echoed him, also apologizing. The operator just waved them off with a scowl, telling them to get going and not hold up his business. The most annoying people were the ones in love. Spooked, they hurried away, their hands still clasped, which only seemed to worsen the operator's mood. Once they were a safe distance away, Leo whispered to Finn, asking if he found that strange. Finn quipped back, asking if Leo meant that he was strangely cute. Leo groaned, asking where he learned such cheesy lines. But as cheesy as it was, he secretly liked it. Love really was blinding. Right now, everything about Finn seemed perfect, even his terrible pickup lines. Finn asked what was so strange. Leo glanced back at the Ferris wheel, where the operator was still moodily puffing on his cigarette. He leaned close to Finn's ear and whispered, reminding him what the operator had said. He had told them not to hold up his business. Leo shivered. Who else was there? What kind of business was he conducting in the middle of the night? It had to be business with ghosts. There he went again. That was Leo. Finn couldn't hold it in and burst out laughing. That guy wasn't trying to do business. He just didn't want to watch them make out. Finn didn't have the heart to burst Leo's bubble. He played along, grabbing his hand and pulling him toward the trees. He agreed that Leo was right, that something was off about that guy, and they should run before they got entangled in something supernatural. They ran, hand in hand, back into the grove of trees. On the way in, they had walked single file. Now, they tried to walk side by side, squished together on the narrow path, refusing to separate. The path was tight and dark, the atmosphere perfectly set. Leo murmured that he felt like a place like this was perfect for something to happen. Finn deadpanned that the park was full of security cameras. When Leo asked why that mattered, Finn replied that it wasn't a suitable location for a public indecency charge. Leo was speechless. He accused Finn of being sick. Finn feigned innocence, asking what he'd done wrong. Wasn't it just a helpful reminder? Leo was mortified and flustered. What kind of person did Finn think he was? When had he ever suggested such a thing? He was a very pure person. At most, he might consider something in a car. But out in the open? Never. Besides, it was cold out. Things might freeze. The ever-practical Leo was always thinking ahead. Finn chuckled, pretending to backtrack and saying it must have been a misunderstanding. Leo demanded an apology. Finn immediately complied, saying he was sorry and that it would never happen again. His apology was so sincere that Leo decided to forgive him and not revoke his future eligibility for car-related activities, a privilege of which Finn was currently unaware. Finn then asked what Leo had meant by something happening. He snapped his fingers as if in sudden realization, asking if he meant a mugging. He dismissed the idea, pointing out that the police station was just outside the park. The security was quite good. Leo wanted to scream that he meant kissing. He was beginning to have a sliver of regret. He was thankful they couldn't have biological children, because if they did and the child inherited Finn's intellect, its future would be bleak. But of course, Finn was just teasing him. He loved seeing Leo get flustered and worked up, loved pushing him to say what he really wanted. It was a wicked little game, and he had the supposedly sophisticated Leo wrapped around his finger. Finn stopped walking and pulled Leo to face him. He admitted his brain was a bit slow, and told Leo that from now on, he should just say what he wanted directly, and Finn would be more than happy to oblige. Leo, falling right back into character, scoffed and asked if he would just cooperate. They were nearly the same height, with Finn just an inch or two taller, allowing them to look directly into each other's eyes. Leo made a sound that was perfectly in line with his CEO persona and said that he had been the one to initiate the kiss on the Ferris wheel. And while he believed in keeping work and personal life separate, Finn was his assistant. Shouldn't he be a little more proactive in these matters? Finn thought he might die from holding in his laughter. Did Leo have any idea how far from a domineering CEO he was right now? He didn't say it out loud. He knew when to quit while he was ahead. He wrapped an arm around Leo's waist and pulled him flush against his body. Leo's back went ramrod straight, and he tilted his chin back, looking at Finn warily, asking what he was doing. Finn simply said, "Kissing you," and leaned in. Leo finally got the proactive kiss from his assistant that he had been angling for. Dating was great. Kissing was great. The two grown men stood on a dimly lit path in a public park late at night, wrapped in a heated, lingering embrace. Neither had any experience, and their technique was clumsy, their teeth occasionally clashing, but the thrill of it sent blood rushing to their heads. Held in Finn's arms, Leo felt a sense of security he hadn't experienced since he left home to start his own business. Though his life looked easy from the outside, with his father's backing, he had his own moments of crushing exhaustion and blinding headaches. In those times, he had to bear it alone, unable to complain to his parents or anyone else. He thought about the sleepless nights spent plagued by anxiety, and how they had mysteriously ended right after Finn came into his life. It was because he finally had someone who made him feel safe. As they kissed, Leo's mind wandered, tracing the recent history of their relationship, and all he could think of was the constant sense of safety Finn provided. It felt a little pathetic to admit, but he loved being held by Finn. He subconsciously tightened his grip, kissing him more fiercely, so much so that Finn, caught off guard, stumbled back a step. They both froze for a second, then looked at each other and laughed before pulling each other back into another kiss. By the time the two shameless men finally left the park, Leo's lips were swollen and tingling. He asked Finn whose lips were sexier, Angelina Jolie's or his. Finn laughed, saying it wasn't really a fair comparison. Leo's competitive streak flared up. He demanded to know if that meant he thought she was sexier. Finn, exasperated, assured him that he was the sexiest, that every part of him was sexy. Leo scoffed, muttering that Finn hadn't seen the other parts, so how would he know? He forgot, of course, that Finn had seen everything that one time in the bathtub. They took a cab home. By the time they arrived, it was the dead of night. Logically, two people who had just confirmed their relationship and were clearly starving for affection should have immediately fallen into bed. Instead, they both decided to act like perfect gentlemen. Leo stood at his bedroom door and offered Finn a tentative goodnight. Finn, equally proper, wished him a good night as well, telling him to rest well and that he would see him in the morning. He walked to his own bedroom door. They stood there for a moment, looking at each other, before Leo gave a little wave and retreated into his room. The moment the door closed, Leo leaned against it, struggling to suppress a grin. At the same time, he felt a flicker of resentment. Finn was useless. After all that, shouldn't he have burst through the door and thrown him on the bed? Leo's imagination conjured a scene so steamy it wouldn't have passed any censor. While that fantasy remained unrealized, he figured that since they were kissing now, anything more couldn't be far off. He took a deep breath, telling himself to be calm. He couldn't appear like some desperate pervert. That would be too embarrassing. Leo changed and went to take a shower. On his way, he passed the full-length mirror, then backed up to admire his reflection, appreciating his own long legs and toned posterior. He was a catch. Finn wouldn't be able to escape. After a quick shower, he stood before the mirror again, towel in hand, giving himself another thorough once-over. He looked like a narcissist. Finally ready for bed, he glanced up and saw the faceless man kite hanging outside his window. This time, he wasn't scared. He just smiled. In the other room, Finn was also getting ready for a shower, his mind full of Leo. He couldn't help himself. In the middle of the night, he sent a text to his mom. "Mom, I'm dating someone. My boss. We just made it official. Is it bad to move too fast?" He wanted to consult with an expert to ask about the old rules of dating. 1 month to hold hands, 6 months to kiss, 3 years for anything more. But their timeline was already wildly accelerated. They'd held hands before they were dating and kissed the night they made it official. Did that mean tomorrow was for sleeping together? Finn sat in the empty bathtub, pondering this question. He decided it was probably a bad idea. Doing that so soon after making things official might make him seem like he was only after Leo's body. And while he certainly was, he didn't want to appear too eager. He was lost in these thoughts for a while before a chill brought him back to reality. He realized he'd been sitting naked in a dry bathtub for 10 minutes. Love really did lower your IQ. Finn was clearly an idiot now. The suddenness of being in a relationship can feel unreal, especially after waking up from a night of little sleep. Finn didn't sleep well, waking up every half hour to think about Leo in the room next door. Was Leo asleep? He should be. Was he sleeping well? His mind raced, cycling through a series of increasingly intimate nicknames for his new boyfriend. Love didn't just lower your IQ. It drove you insane. But his darling, in fact, wasn't sleeping well either. He hadn't slept at all. Leo had been exhausted when he lay down, after a mentally taxing day at work followed by a chaotic evening and a life-altering confession. The memory of the confession made him curl up under the covers, blushing. Happiness had ambushed him, and he spent the entire night trying to process it. Not just Finn's "I like you," but the hugs and kisses that came with it. Leo had always thought he disliked physical contact, but the more he thought about it, the more he suspected he might be a kissing addict. He was tempted to phase through the wall and find Finn for another round. So pathetic. So immature. So not CEO-like. He took a deep breath, trying to calm down, but the desire wouldn't fade. Something else in the darkness was also refusing to subside. This was torture. Shouldn't two adults in a relationship confirm their status 1 minute and be tearing each other's clothes off the next? Leo writhed in his bed, ending up with his feet where his head should be, staring at the wall, trying to develop X-ray vision to see Finn in the next room. Why wasn't that guy more proactive? This was unacceptable. Leo grabbed his phone and started searching. How to seduce your boyfriend onto your bed. He spent the rest of the night studying, becoming an expert by sunrise. On the first official day of their relationship, both men had dark circles under their eyes. Finn woke up early to cook breakfast for Leo. He had previously felt inadequate that he couldn't offer Leo anything tangible, but he had a change of heart. You couldn't wait for things in life. You had to seize them. It wasn't that Finn had low self-esteem, just a lack of confidence. But now he realized that if he had waited until he was successful to confess, Leo might not have been there waiting for him. Love doesn't wait. Besides, he had a realistic view of his prospects. As a chef starting from scratch, he was never going to out-earn Leo. So why not secure the relationship first, then build their careers together? Finn was feeling quite philosophical as he happily prepared breakfast. When the housekeeper arrived, she was surprised to see him up so early again. He internally sighed at her continued misremembering of his name, but was too polite and cheerful to correct her. He explained he couldn't sleep, so he got up to make breakfast for Leo, and that he'd made extra for her. The housekeeper quickly declined, saying she'd already eaten. As they were talking, Leo appeared, his hair a mess. The housekeeper was surprised to see him up this early, and even more surprised that, despite looking exhausted, he was in a remarkably good mood. Love truly was the best medicine. Not wanting to be a third wheel, she excused herself to start cleaning in another room. Finn turned to look at Leo, and the two men, both sporting dark circles, shared a smile brimming with affection. Leo shuffled over to Finn's side and asked what he was making. Finn told him it was a special breakfast, and that he was going to draw a heart on it with ketchup when he was done. Men in love are so childish. Leo leaned almost imperceptibly against Finn. Normally, Finn hated being watched while he cooked, but for Leo, he would make an exception. The two of them were being cozy in the kitchen, enjoying the first morning of their new relationship. It was an overcast day, but their moods were bright. Leo, remembering his late-night research, suddenly asked Finn if he didn't think they should have a morning after kiss. He pointed to himself, assuring Finn that he had already brushed his teeth. He hadn't washed his face yet, but his teeth were clean, all in preparation for this moment. Finn, inexperienced with this kind of direct flirtation, couldn't resist. He turned and captured Leo's lips. The late autumn morning was cool, and Leo had felt a chill in his pajamas. But the moment Finn's lips touched his, he felt a fire ignite within him. The chill was gone, replaced by a simmering heat. Leo had intended it to be a light, quick peck, but the two novices got carried away, lost in a tender, lingering kiss. The housekeeper, passing by, caught a glimpse of them and felt her blood pressure spike. She quickly turned and fled. Some things were not meant to be seen. The world of young people was intense. The passionate kiss was abruptly ended by the smell of something burning. In all his years of cooking, Finn had never burned a single dish. Today, his perfect record was broken. But he didn't feel a shred of remorse. Kissing in the kitchen was a wonderful experience. If he could, he would even. No, he couldn't let his thoughts go there. It was too indecent. Leo muttered from the side that it was his fault. He was just too irresistible. Finn laughed and agreed that it was indeed his fault. Leo, having successfully applied his newly acquired knowledge, had managed to fluster Finn completely. Then, feeling shy himself, he hugged his arms, complained of being cold, and dashed back to his room. Leo took a quick shower and got dressed. By the time he returned, Finn had already remade breakfast, complete with a perfect ketchup heart on the omelet. This was exactly the kind of thing Leo adored. He rushed back to get his phone and snapped several pictures. Then, Leo, who hadn't posted on social media in years, shared a photo with the caption, "Breakfast in bed, made by my other half." He made sure to tag his parents. Soon after, his father replied, "When are you bringing him home for me to see?" Leo, savoring his special breakfast, smugly typed back, "I'll think about it. He's too handsome. I don't want you to see him." The giddy new boyfriend had completely lost his composure. On the way to the office, he had Finn stop at a bank so he could withdraw a few $1,000s in cash, which he then stuffed into a stack of envelopes. At the company, Leo personally went from office to office, handing them out. Finn followed behind his boss, thinking what a great employer he was, sharing his personal joy with his staff. When he reached his executive assistant, Chloe, she looked up from her work, confused. She asked what the special occasion was. Leo told her it was a good day. It was the day he, a lifelong bachelor, was finally off the market. And on this joyous occasion, he had to share the love. Chloe had long suspected something was going on between them. She thought Leo had hired Finn specifically so he could pursue a relationship under the guise of work. But it turned out they had only just gotten together. She had misjudged the timeline. She pressed him, asking what made the day so special. She kept track of all holidays and company events, and today wasn't one of them. Leo remained mysterious, handing her an envelope and telling her that if she felt bad about taking it, she could just offer him some words of blessing. She wished him financial success. Leo clarified that he was looking for blessings of a more romantic nature. Chloe glanced at Finn standing behind Leo. They looked like a newly married couple making their rounds at a wedding reception. Clicked. They must have taken their relationship to the next level. She smiled, accepted the envelope, and offered her sincere congratulations, wishing them a long and happy life together. Leo, pleased, handed her another envelope. As they were leaving her office, Chloe sent Leo a text. "Friendly reminder, you guys need to get some rest. Your dark circles are down to your chins. I have concealer if you need it." Leo turned to Finn and asked what concealer was. In some ways, the sophisticated CEO was as clueless as a stereotypical jock. Finn, looking at Leo's clear complexion, said he didn't think he needed it. Being complimented made Leo happy, and the purpose of concealer was forgotten. He was naturally beautiful. He strutted back to his office, pausing at the door to beckon Finn with a crooked finger. Finn felt his soul being reeled in. The assistant followed the CEO into his office. Leo still held a thick stack of envelopes. He had overestimated the size of his startup, but he had a plan for the leftovers. When Finn entered, Leo told him to close the door. The command sent a thrill through Finn. A first day of the relationship tryst in the office? It seemed inappropriate, but if the boss insisted, who was he to refuse? He asked, with a poor attempt at an innocent tone, what Leo needed. Leo played along, leaning back in his large leather chair and crossing his legs. He asked if Finn remembered something he had said to him. Here we go again, Finn thought, another test of his memory and his ability to decipher Leo's convoluted thought processes. He usually failed these tests. True to form, he admitted that he'd said a lot of things and wasn't sure which one Leo was referring to. He braced himself for Leo's annoyance. But today, Leo was in too good of a mood to get angry. Leo reminded him that just last night, someone had asked to be leveraged. Finn grinned, confirming it was him. Leo then asked if he looked like the kind of sleazy boss who engaged in such practices with his employees. Finn launched into a string of over-the-top compliments, praising Leo's integrity and character. Leo cut him off, saying there was no need for such flattery. He tossed the remaining envelopes onto the desk and declared that, as it turned out, he was exactly that kind of person. Finn was baffled. The man's mind was a labyrinth. He decided to stop trying to anticipate Leo's next move and just go with the flow. Leo looked from Finn to the envelopes and back again, hoping his assistant would take the hint. But Finn remained passive, afraid of misreading the situation. Fine, Leo thought, if the mountain won't come to me, I'll go to the mountain. He said that since Finn had made the request as his boss, it would be rude to refuse. He slid a single envelope across the desk. One envelope, one kiss. He declared he was leveraging him. Finn burst out laughing. That was it? The envelope contained $1,000. He asked if his kisses were really worth that much. Of course, the implication was that for that amount of money, more than just a kiss should be on the table. But Leo was too shy to say it. It was up to Finn to understand. Finn proposed a counteroffer. For $1,000, he would kiss Leo. He picked up the envelope and walked around the desk. Then, he added, he would give Leo $1,000 to let him hold him. Leo thought it through. It was a net zero transaction for both of them, but they both got what they wanted. It was a good deal. As Finn approached, Leo's heart fluttered. This was what being in love felt like. Even though it wasn't their first kiss, the office setting made it feel illicit and exciting. Leo sat in his chair as Finn tilted his chin up. The late autumn sun streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, bathing them in a golden light. Finn leaned down and kissed him. It was a different kind of kiss from the night before, softer, more tender. They both closed their eyes, savoring the moment. Just as the atmosphere was reaching peak romance, a sharp knock came at the door, followed by Chloe's voice over the intercom announcing a visitor. The sudden interruption startled them both. Leo nearly fell out of his chair. He scrambled to compose himself, wiping his lips and telling Chloe to have the visitor wait in the conference room. He was flustered, and Finn wasn't much better. If Chloe were to walk in right now, she would see two red-faced men, one of whom had a freshly bitten lip. In his panic, Leo had accidentally nipped Finn. Finn discreetly licked the small cut. Even the taste of blood was sweet today. Leo stood up, straightening his clothes and muttering that office flings were too stressful. Finn chuckled and suggested they could continue at home. Leo, his ears turning red, snapped at him for being shameless. He pointed to the envelopes on the desk, telling Finn to take them and amuse himself while his provider went to work. As Leo walked out, Finn called after him, promising to help his hard-working provider unwind later that evening. Leo shot him a look over his shoulder, a silent that he had better deliver on that promise. After Leo left, Finn put the envelopes back in Leo's desk drawer. He liked money, but he wouldn't take it like this. He tidied up the office and left a sticky note on Leo's desk. "You work hard. I'll reward you tonight." When Leo returned and saw the note, he was filled with a sweet anticipation. For the next half hour, he fantasized about what Finn's reward might entail, his mind drifting into decidedly R-rated territory. The innocent CEO had, on the first day of his relationship, become a degenerate with a one-track mind. He had no desire to work, only to go home and be with his boyfriend. Love was a dangerous distraction. Later that day, Leo's father called. Their housekeeper hadn't yet reported on the morning's sweet developments, so his father was unaware that their relationship was now official. He was calling because Leo's grandfather's 90th birthday was approaching, and it was their family's turn to host the party. He wanted to delegate the planning to his son. Leo, ever the prankster, answered the phone with a formal greeting, using his father's old-fashioned given name, which he knew his father hated. After a brief, good-natured argument, his father got to the point, telling him to come home that night for a planning meeting. Leo's mind started turning. He told his father he wanted to bring someone important with him. His father, unfazed, asked if it was his boyfriend. He had liked Finn from the moment he met him and was eager to taste his cooking again. Leo was shocked at how quickly the news had traveled, forgetting that, in his father's mind, they'd been together for weeks. He confirmed that he would be bringing him home, and his father, trying to sound casual, suggested that the young man might like to cook for them, as a way to win over Leo's notoriously picky mother. Leo saw right through the transparent excuse, knowing full well his father was the real foodie. He agreed to ask Finn and hung up, amused by his father's scheming. He found Finn in the break room, looking at something on his tablet that he quickly tried to hide. Leo, his curiosity piqued, demanded to see it. It was the 101 Things You Must Know About Leo manual he had made Finn memorize when he started. Leo was mortified. The mystique was gone. Finn even knew about his weird insistence on buying socks with special patterns on the soles. Finn explained he was just reviewing, trying to understand him better. This led Leo to a realization. There was a significant information imbalance in their relationship. Finn knew everything about him, but he knew almost nothing about Finn. Finn countered that there were still things he didn't know. Leo, genuinely curious, asked what he had possibly left out of his exhaustive manual. Finn's response floored him. "I still don't know how much you like me." Leo's brain overheated. This man was dangerous. Just then, Finn's phone buzzed. It was a delayed reply from his mom, asking if he was sure he was dating his boss and not just being kept by him. Finn laughed out loud. He told Leo about his mom's suspicion and said Leo needed to clear his name. Leo, trying to maintain his cool CEO facade, said that publicly announcing their relationship at the company might be inappropriate. Finn clarified that all he needed to do was meet his mom. The suggestion thrilled Leo. He immediately countered that before he met Finn's mom, Finn had to meet his parents. Tonight, the suddenness of the plan made Finn nervous. He wasn't prepared. He felt he needed to make a good impression, and he hadn't even gotten a haircut. But Leo explained that it was just a family meeting for his grandfather's birthday, and he had already told them Finn was coming, and that his father had one condition. Finn had to cook dinner. This was a challenge Finn was more than happy to accept. The two spent the next half-hour planning. Finn made a shopping list, and Leo tried to write down his parents' food preferences, only to realize with some embarrassment that they would eat just about anything. That evening, they were stuck in rush hour traffic. Finn worried they would be late, but Leo assured him it was fine. He sat in the passenger seat, playing with Finn's fingers, trying to soothe his nerves. He told Finn not to worry about whether his parents would like him. He was Leo's choice, and therefore he was the best. When they finally arrived at his parents' suburban home, Finn, armed with flowers and a bottle of bourbon, was still a wreck. They were greeted by Leo's mom, who was in the middle of a phone call, excitedly telling her friend that her son was bringing his handsome, culinary-gifted boyfriend home. She greeted Finn warmly, delighted with the flowers. After a bit of confusion over Finn's last name, which she had been told was different, Leo officially introduced him as his boyfriend, explaining they had just gotten together the night before. His mom was confused, saying she'd heard from his father that they'd been together for a while. It seemed everyone was on a different page. Finn, however, was focused on the kitchen. It was large and modern, a chef's dream. He was in his element, preparing an impressive but comforting meal of American classics. As he cooked, Leo stayed by his side, providing moral support. When Leo's father came home, he greeted Finn like an old friend and made a beeline for the kitchen to inspect the food. He was openly delighted, praising his son's excellent taste in partners. The family dinner was a resounding success. Finn charmed them with his cooking and his passion for it. It was clear to Leo's parents that their son was truly happy. After dinner, they convened for the family meeting. To Finn's surprise, he was included. He eagerly volunteered to be the head chef for his grandfather's birthday party. The planning session went late into the night. When Leo's parents finally went to bed, they left the two young men to decide their own sleeping arrangements. Leo, feigning casualness, suggested Finn take the room next to his, explaining that he'd gotten used to having him nearby and might not sleep well otherwise. Finn, though secretly hoping they would share a room, agreed. They said good night at their respective doors, a lingering look passing between them. In their separate rooms, neither could sleep. Their minds were racing, both regretting their own shyness. Leo, fresh from the shower, lay in bed, trying to hear any sound from the next room. Nothing. Finally, a brilliant idea struck him. He sprang from his bed and padded over to Finn's room, knocking softly. Finn opened the door, a look of surprise on his face. Leo, holding up his phone, offered a flimsy excuse. His charger was broken, and he needed to borrow one. It was a transparent ploy, but it worked. Finn stepped aside to let him in, a knowing smile playing on his lips as he closed the door behind them.